Hey everyone, I'm Powerslide from Team Na'vi. In the last episode of Science of Victory, Luke told you about an all-purpose setup which is the easiest to use when playing team battles. This is the setup of two T1s, two IS-3s, two 5100s, and a 1390. I have my own opinion on this matter. I will tell you about the setup I think is the most efficient, and the reasons for it. In addition, I will answer the questions you posted in the comments. I suggest trying this setup. Two T1s, two IS-3s, an AMX 5100, a T-32, and an AMX 1390. The only difference is using an American heavy instead of a French one. In my opinion, this is the best setup when you don't know which map the battle will be fought on. You do need more individual skill and good teamwork when using my setup. The tanks are very different, and each player has to understand their role clearly to accomplish their tasks. Basically, this setup can make winning easier, but only when you have a good team where every player has a clear understanding of what needs to be done on each and every map. On open and mixed maps, of which there are many, you can't fight without an AMX 1390. This tank is very important for scouting. The two IS-3s are the main strike force. These tanks have the highest damage per shot, and they are very good for positional warfare. The AMX 5100 can be used for quick strikes on most maps because of its autoloader. And finally, the T-32 is great for both city and mixed maps, where it's possible to tank shots with its turret. Why is my setup better than the one suggested in the past episode of our show? I'm convinced that the two AMX 5100s can't reach their full potential on mixed and open maps, where engagements result in positional warfare. A T-32 replacing one AMX 5100 will be much more useful, mainly because of its almost impenetrable turret and great gun depression. Many will ask, why not use the Pershing? It's faster and has a sturdy mantlet. First of all, the Pershing's turret armor is much worse than that of the T-32, and the regions outside the mantlet can be penetrated easily. Second, the T-32 is a much better pick for city maps due to several factors. It has more hit points, better frontal armor, and a higher average damage per shot. Somebody will no doubt ask, why not take a third IS-3 since it's such a versatile tank? I'll explain. Many maps require a tank which not only has a high damage per shot and an armored turret, but also features good gun depression. This greatly expands the range of tactical possibilities. It immediately turns bumps in the terrain from irritating obstacles to trusted allies. There are many such terrain features in the game, and to use them you want the not fast but thick T-32. We'll go to our questions now. Many of you have asked about the effectiveness of some particular tanks in team combat mode. You can find these answers in our previous episodes. We have covered this topic through 6 episodes, and I'm sure you can find the answers there. I will answer one of the questions though.
Powerslide, wouldn't the 110 be superior to the IS-3? It has better armor, better accuracy and DPM, at the minor cost of a slightly lower alpha. How is the IS-3 better?
Many are troubled by this Chinese tank. I will tell you why we rarely use it in our matches. The tank has very poor mobility, which limits its ability to freely roam the map. Yes, the Chinaman can take a beating, thanks to the high frontal hull armor. But the Soviet Heavy is superior in top speed and has better turret armor. Besides, the IS-3 can tank with its sides and the 110 can't. The lack of view range in the IS-3 can be compensated for with optics.
On which tanks does it make sense to use extra rations or cola instead of an extinguisher? Should I focus on the firefighting skill in this case?
I use extra rations in all of my tanks which have at least some firefighting skill. Picking the firefighting skill for everyone is only useful after getting the 4th perk. The other skills are more important.
What do you think about replacing one IS-3 with a T-32? Less firepower but more armor could be good for maps like steppes and mines.
The T-32 is a really great tank, and that's why I advise using it in this setup. I think that it's an AMX 5100 that should be swapped for a T-32 and not the IS-3, however, because it's very difficult for two AMX 5100s to reach their potential on most maps. A T-32 is more useful in a positional firefight when using its turret and being supported by two IS-3s.
Which map do you think results in the most complex battles?
In my opinion, it's Himmelsdorf. It's really hard to predict enemy tank positioning. There are many positions on the map, and they are connected to each other with long passages. In general, it's not an easy map for playing defensively. Often, the commander and the players need to make very quick decisions on this map.
When does it make sense to spread out? Is it always a bad idea?
It makes sense to spread out when attacking enemies entrenched in their base. A pretty common situation in team battles. To do this, you have to be absolutely certain of their positions, and you need to be very careful. Here is a typical battle on the steppes. The enemy was nowhere to be seen for the first few minutes of the battle. As soon as the team was sure the enemy wasn't at the rocks, it became clear that they were behind the railroad, or near it. The ISs engaged the main forces, but didn't rush into battle. The two TDs were aiming at them. Meanwhile, the 5100 sneaked up from line 1 and destroyed both TDs with one drum before they know what hit them. Yes, the enemy left one heavy to guard the flank, but you can see how it didn't do them much good.
Please explain the importance of mobility and map control in 1 or 2 episodes. When should the team attack, and when should they play defense?
We will discuss these topics in the next couple of episodes of Science of Victory. The next episode will tell you about analyzing the enemy's setup and choosing your tactics accordingly. Then we'll move on to a detailed analysis on playing the maps with the all-purpose setup we talked about last time. And that's it. I hope you liked the show. Please leave your feedback in the comments and I will be happy to read them. Subscribe to our channel and watch The Science of Victory. See you next time.